Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines this morning. We got new court filings for Ripple and Brad Chris Larson cases. We'll cover it. We also have some South Korea news, PayPal, Matt Hamilton, David Schwartz, Wells Fargo, and a clearinghouse Ripple partner. Strap in, folks. This is going to be good. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me at Dig Perspectives at the top of the screen and everything that we're talking about here today, and Digital Perspectives News on Facebook. We do Sunday morning lives on there, and they've turned out really wonderful. $1.720 trillion market cap for crypto. A lot of money missing from this space. We're off by 0.94%, but I can tell you we're off by about 1.4 or $1.3 trillion at the current moment. So a lot of money missing from this market. 38,600 plus for Bitcoin. We see 2,500 plus for Ethereum. XRP 75 cents this morning, up almost 4% on the 7-day. 75 cents on the low side, 78 on the top. Take a look at this really quickly because I've been killing it right here. Masterworks, baby. Masterworks.io. And look, you can get great returns and it's not expensive. No minimum limit. $20 a share. You can invest in fine art the way billionaires have for many, many decades. And look at the returns, historical appreciation on these different artists' work. I already own some Christopher Wool. I also have some Pablo Picasso, and I'm getting ready to get into this cause right here. 52% historical appreciation. These aren't obviously, guaranteed, but this is the historical appreciation so far on these different artists' work. Like I said, $20 a share, you can invest in these things, and I absolutely love it. And some of these, by the way, like this Gerhard Richter, is almost fully fulfilled, and so is this one by Christopher Wool, which I happen to be in, and I'm very happy about. But make sure you check it out, because I think it's a great time to diversify, and it's not financial advice, but I think so for myself, my digital perspectives. Take a look at this. I'll put a link underneath the video. And looking at this here, Ripple onboards thousands of creators to its $250 million creator fund. How about that one, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, I covered it yesterday, and it just tells you how much is coming with NFTs and so many other projects that developers are working on that we don't even know about yet. It's remarkable. Take a look at this right here. After 27 years in government, law enforcement, most recently as the chief digital currency advisor at FinCEN, Michelle Korver is joining A16Z, crypto head of regulatory compliance right there. How about that? Well, shout out to Michelle, but I tell you, I have to wonder if she knows about ETHgate. I really do. She may want to start getting some paperwork and some defenses up there if it pursues any real, I guess, litigation from the SEC. We'll see. I doubt it, but, glass half full. But, it's hard to have a glass half full because this is an incredible conversation that John Deaton had with the gentleman from Library Company, and Library Token, and listen to what he says here about how the SEC does business like the mafia does business. It's just incredible. Listen to this.
Please explain that.
So first of all, the SEC conducts business the way the mafia does. They have everything on unrecorded phone calls, which is also really messed up because I would love it to have had permission to record every conversation I have with these people, but you're not allowed to do that. What they said to us on the call, and which our lawyers, by the way, are testifying this as well. So this is not me. And they basically said, we could make this very expensive for you if you don't give us what we want. And they know all the power they have. It's cost. I mean, this case has cost me well over $1 million, probably approaching $2 million in legal fees on it. I mean, it's cost me a crazy amount of money. And they know exactly what they're doing. They gave us, they sent us in one of their, like a request for something, like where a part of the subpoena, they asked us for literally every piece of data we have. all of it. They asked us for every database, every field, every property, like reaching into like view histories and stuff. We were able to get, we didn't have to give that over, to be clear. But they asked us for everything.
Wow. I have to tell you, if you ever wanted an inside look at what the SEC's doing, there's your inside baseball right there. And here's the scary part, ladies and gentlemen, is like, obviously it looks like Ripple is getting the headwinds they need to come out of this thing on the right side of it. But, Library is a much smaller company behind the actual token. So you have to wonder if they've got enough gas in the tank to get through this thing without getting snagged up and getting a designation that they're really not going to be favorable for their company and their token project going forward. And will that become precedent if Ripple case goes the way we want it? Will they use the Library case to really get the entire market really as legal precedent under digital asset securities? Just remarkable what we're seeing. Here's some more updates right here on filings and motions. Pay close attention because they're not the same. We're going to look at two. First of all, shout out to James K. Flynn, who is remarkable. Appreciate all the work this guy does, and he's just incredible. The SEC has filed a motion for the extension of time until March 18th to respond to the motion to strike the supplemental expert report. Ripple will then file its reply to the SEC by March 24th. So it's pretty straight ahead on that one. But now let's look at this, because I believe this is the one that pertains to Brad and Chris's case, I believe. Let me make sure that this is right. Yes. Okay. So it says here, the court orders parties to meet and confer to determine the additional discovery, if any, is necessary, and file a joint letter by March 23rd, 2022, informing the court of any additional discovery they intend to seek and schedule for that discovery. And then it goes on here, and Anders L. asked a question I think we all want to know: is this for the Ripple case or for Larson and Brad? And then he says this is the additional 120-day discovery period for Brad and Chris only. Gotta love that clarity that we get there. I tell you, what would we do without Jeremy Hogan, Attorney Seal, John Deaton, and James K. Flynn? What in the world would we do? I don't know. We'd be lost in the sauce, I could tell you that. Well, I tell you this is remarkable. Talk about just the contrast of what's going on around the world compared to what's happening in the United States with the SEC. Look at this right here. Ripple has made a proposal for South Korea to make clear distinctions in cryptocurrencies between payments tokens, utility tokens, and securities tokens in a policy paper released on Tuesday. And it's pretty remarkable when you go through this thing. It doesn't say much more in here other than just the acknowledgement of the difference of the tone going on around the rest of the globe. And then there's Dan Schulman here at PayPal, who obviously gets it. He reiterates here his positive stance on the crypto industry. In his view, the intersection between digital assets, CBDCs, stablecoins, and digital wallets will redefine a lot of the financial world going forward. I don't think you could say it any more succinctly other than that. I do want to remind you here that it's just at the bottom. I wanted to show you this if it's still there. Don't forget that PayPal also seeks to create and develop their own cryptocurrency. Remember that. It will be a stablecoin asset, possibly pegged to the US dollar. That's what we're looking for from them. It really goes back to the early days, right? Where you see, early times of mankind when there was tribes and villages, right? One village or one tribe would use seashells, one would use deer antlers, and they would trade these things. And then you would find a village in between that would be able to make a market for both. That kind of a thing. We're going back to that, but in a digital age. And that's why I think there's such a place for something like XRP as a bridge currency. Well, take a look at this, because there's even more reason for the bridge currency right here. Let Matt Hamilton tell you. Check it out.
Ethereum or blockchain or Bitcoin, you can actually make a business just out of running a node, right? And you can basically operate something effectively like a rent-seeking arrangement in which you get paid just to operate the node, irrespective of what you you plan to do with it. Whereas with the XRP ledger, there's no direct incentive to run a node. So those that run nodes are those that actually have other incentives to be a part of the network. So they run a business, they run a wallet, they run an exchange. They are committed to the long-term health and operation of the network. And what that
just very quickly before he goes on, because it's really so right on point. This is backing up exactly what we heard from David Schwartz that I showed you yesterday afternoon's video. Proof of stake, proof of work doesn't work for payments.
What that means is whilst there's a smaller number of nodes, they're a lot more aligned with the rest of the network and with the users. You don't get this kind of battle between, say, on Bitcoin, you have like miners that want high fees because they get more profit, and users that want low fees because they want cheap transactions.
And just to that point, very quickly, this is why Ethereum 2.0 is having so much trouble. What miner on Ethereum 1.0 would want to gravitate to 2.0 when they're just drilling everybody with the fees that they're having right now?
Whereas with the XRP ledger, the fees remain low because you don't have that kind of rent-seeking type arrangement in which you have entities that are trying to raise the price because they will get more transaction fees.
There it is right there. Shout out to Matt Hamilton. And here's a shot from David Schwartz from his talk yesterday with the MIT guy. And check it out. When we get done this, I'm going to show you evidence that the bow is breaking when it comes to the banks in the world. Take a listen to this clip from Digital Asset Investor. Check it out.
We have the technology to allow every financial institution on the planet to settle with every other financial institution in a compatible jurisdiction in any asset in seconds for less than a penny. Just think about this. Anyone who's made a payment knows that we're nowhere near that today. But imagine every financial institution settling with every other financial institution in seconds for less than a penny, any asset. That's fundamentally transformative. We have the technology to do it. Now we just need to figure out how to drive the adoption. And of course, there's all the challenges there's incumbents, there's regulation, there's inertia, there's the big players who are really trying to defend, if you're one of the largest banks in the world, you want to push pause or stop on technology because you're in the lead. So of course.
There it is right there. That's the truth. It's the barrier to entry. They don't want to let the small companies in, whether it's fintech or otherwise, because it's their world. They want to keep it all to themselves, but the bow is going to break. That's what's going to happen, and the bow is breaking. Let me show you this, because this here is showing that Wells Fargo has been training on a SWIFT replacement. He says, now I've got online service agreement update from Wells Fargo, talking about real-time payments by Clearinghouse, a Ripple partner. Take a look at this very quickly here. We're going to back it up here in just a second. Real-time payment service, it shows here, which uses real-time payments network operated by a third party, the Clearinghouse. It goes through here, payments using RTP authorized to deduct the amount of payment from your account immediately, and the funds typically made available by the payee within seconds. After it is sent, real-time payment cannot be canceled or amended. You can request that the payee return the funds to you, but the payee is not required to return the funds, even if you entered an incorrect amount, sent a payment to the wrong payee. Goes on to say here, you authorize Wells Fargo to share your personal information, including your name, Wells Fargo account number, and routing transit number with Clearinghouse. You may not send more than $5,000 through the RTP service in a single payment. Now, if we go down here, you can also see here is the source. Real-time payment service from Clearinghouse is a Ripple partner. And check it out. Ripple partner FIS is the Clearinghouse joining forces to bring real-time payments for U.S. banks. It's right here. FIS, a Ripple partner, has partnered with the Clearinghouse. Come on in for bringing real-time payments to the United States financial institutions and banks. And doesn't this go back to this? Let me show you. Right here. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which Brad Garlinghouse just referenced the other day in his interview, I believe it was with Bloomberg at the time. And if we look here, let's go right down because page 38, that's where it's at. Just need to see it again. That's all we need to do is just see it, right? Just see it again, because it's there. And I believe it's right here. Here it is, right here. I'll blow it up for you. There it is. Virtual currency companies, they're not confused, such as Ripple, which offer both payments and messaging platform to support cross-border money transfers with virtual currency XRP, which can affect the settlement of those transfers, just like we're seeing with FIS and the clearinghouse. That is how I like to end the video right there. Nothing but good news on the upside. Check out all the links underneath the video. They are great products and services I use each and every day, and they have great specials and deals. They are trusted, vetted links. Be very careful what you click on out here. Clinton Donnelly is the foremost tax authority, and it's tax time, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know what to do about your crypto taxes, he's the guy to call. DonnellyTaxLaw.com. I'll catch all of you on the next one.